Hey, my name is Braden Welcome Down Fry, and I am here to present to you the most convincing presentation you will ever see. Have you ever imagined someone with the exact same name as you, but your lives turn out completely different? One becomes successful while the other one makes bad decisions that drastically changes their future? Well, you probably haven't. And honestly, this is what makes this book so interesting compared to the other books students read in school. Today, I'll explain why my book, The Other Wes Moore, should be taught in today's English curriculum, and how it teaches students about choices, mindset, and responsibility through tough situations. The Other Wes Moore is a non-fictional book written by Wes Moore. It follows the lives of two different men who both share the same name and grew up in similar neighborhoods, surrounded by poverty, violence, and difficult situations. Even though they had similar childhoods, their lives began heading in totally different directions, mainly because of their choices and mindset. Author Wes Moore begins finding ways through education, discipline, and positive role models. The entire book keeps readers thinking about one big question: how can two people with similar backgrounds end up with completely different futures? That question is what makes this book so important and interesting. One reason why the book belongs in today's English curriculum is because the themes are still relevant right now. Students today still deal with peer pressure, stress about the future, identity, and trying to figure out who they want to become. This book feels realistic because these problems still exist. This book encourages students to discuss important questions like, does your own community affect success? Can mindset change someone's future? How important are role models? Or even kids named Austin who ask, how big is the 6'7" trend getting? These are conversations that actually matter to students. One of the biggest lessons in The Other Wes Moore is that choices can shape your future. Both Wes Moores grew up around violence and poverty, but eventually their decisions began taking them down completely different paths. Author Wes Moore accepts guidance from teachers, mentors, and military school. He starts building discipline and believing in education. The other Wes Moore struggles more with negative influences and begins making choices that slowly affect the direction of his life, like getting into drugs and crime. This lesson is important for high school students because teenagers are at the age where choices actually begin affecting their future. This book teaches consequences in a way that feels real instead of forced. The book also teaches students how family, community, and mindset can affect people's lives as well. Author Wes Moore had adults who continued pushing him towards education and success, even when he was struggling. The other Wes Moore often lacked consistent support and became surrounded by more and more negative influences. The novel shows how communities can either help people grow or just pull them down. But mindset is also extremely important throughout the story. One Wes believes he can improve his future and overcome obstacles. The other Wes often feels trapped by a situation. The difference in thinking changes everything. This message connects strongly with students today because many teenagers deal with pressure, stress, and uncertainty about their future. The novel encourages students to reflect on their own mindset and decisions. This book also works really well in a college prep English classroom because it connects directly to state English standards. Students can analyze themes, compare perspectives, study character development, and support ideas using textual evidence. The story naturally creates strong essays and class discussions because students can connect literature to real-world issues. And honestly, students are usually more engaged when they can actually relate to the material instead of reading something written 400 years ago and pretending they completely understand it. To conclude, The Other Wes Moore deserves a place in today's high school English curriculum because it teaches lessons that still matter today. The book explores different things like choices, identity, mindset, family influence, and even personal responsibility. At the same time, the book still works really well in English classes because students can talk about themes, analyze characters, and use evidence from the story to support their ideas. Most importantly, students can actually relate to the story and think about their own future while reading it. And when students actually connect to a book, it makes the lesson way more meaningful. So, overall, The Other Wes Moore isn't just a book students read for a grade. It's a book that can really make students stop and think.